I have been lucky enough to take a ride on over 375 different roller coasters. And you're about to learn which ones that are still in operation that I will never ride again, including one B&M coaster that is considered as one of the best of its kind in the entire world. Welcome to Theme Park Predictions. My name is Brandon. Be sure to grab some popcorn and get ready to enjoy this painful and uncomfortable list of roller coasters that I'll never ride again. Starting off the list with everyone's favorite type of coaster, any Vacoma Boomerang without the new trains. According to my Log Ride app, I have been on 46 different Vacoma coasters, but sadly, only a few of them are what I classify as a good coaster. I have now suffered through, don't laugh, but 15 different Vacoma Boomerangs. And after riding these types of coasters for years now, I can honestly tell you my 38-year-old body has had enough, and I will only ride them going forward if the coaster has the new comfortable vest restraints. And that isn't even a guarantee that I'm gonna ride it. Going forwards and backwards and then going upside down 6 times in less than a minute sounds fun to most, but I'd rather not waste time and ride a coaster that is more enjoyable to me. I did classify the 2 inverted Vacoma Boomerang coasters for this list, since I have ridden both in Vertigo at Kings Island and Two-Face the Flip Side at Six Flags America, back when it was in operation. Any Vacoma SLC without new trains. Sadly, I have been on 7 of these coasters before, and here's a hot take. I actually love the layout that Vacoma SLCs offer. They are intense, feature some great inversions, and a ton of moments where you think your legs are going to get hit by the nearby supports. But the headbanging is real, and there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Unless you ride an SLC that offers the new vest restraints, then the ride experience is somewhat tolerable. Either way, I don't see myself ever riding a Vacoma SLC again, unless I need the credit and the coaster offers the vest restraints. And of course, if I don't have a better coaster to ride. Now with these coasters, I'm not saying that you shouldn't ride them, because these are just some of the coasters that I can honestly could care less about riding ever again. Next up is a name that I'm about to butcher, and that would be the Dullanaga Mine Train at Six Flags Over Georgia. 2,327 feet of jolts, bumps, and ouch, ouch, ouch moments. Oh, not to mention, but Aero blessed us with 3 lift hills during the course of the ride. While this coaster has a name that not many of us, including myself, will be able to pronounce right, it does offer a beautiful setting that's tucked away from the rest of the park. It's too bad this coaster is one of the worst ones that I've ever ridden before. Come on, Six Flags Over Georgia, remove this coaster and build a family coaster like Fire Chaser Express at Dollywood in its place. Predator at Six Flags Darien Lake. Now, I will say I haven't ridden this coaster in over 10 years, so there's a good chance that it could offer a smoother ride by now, or hell, even a rougher ride. But regardless, it's time that Darien Lake converts Predator into a hybrid of some type, whether that comes from RMC or GCI and their new Titan track. Either way, the Predator beats you up and won't even let you fight back. So if you're just wanting the credit, take it, but be prepared for a major headache and some aches and pains the rest of your day. Now, if you have ridden the Predator recently, let me know how the ride was in the comments, because I am curious to see if it's still as bad and rough as I remember it being. Nighthawk, Carowinds. Even though Carowinds is my home park, I am truthful about the coasters here, and let's face it, outside of Fury, Afterburn, Copperhead, and Intimidator, there isn't a whole lot to talk about in terms of good coasters. My first ride on Nighthawk was way back in 2004, when it was known as Borg. And since moving to Charlotte in 2014 and visiting Carowinds hundreds of times, I've only ridden this Vacoma Flying Dutchman just once. And here is why. The whole ride experience is uncomfortable in my opinion. And plus, it's a Vacoma coaster that uses square wheels, it seems. I mean, just listen to the coaster as it flies by you over the midway. You can just hear how rattly the train is. Nighthawk looks great in that Carolina sun, but this coaster is even more painful than its stand-up neighbor Vortex. Now I didn't include the coasters that are no longer in operation since, well, this list is about the coasters I will never ride again, not closed coasters. But if Goliath at Six Flags New England will open again, and we all know it won't, but let's say if it did, then it would be on this list, especially if it keeps the horrible Premier Coaster trains. The Big Apple coaster would also be on this list, but I rode it right before the new trains, so I'm willing to give it a second chance. Viper, Six Flags Magic Mountain. I might get some hate for this, but when I rode Viper back in March of 2020, it was so painful that I wish I didn't even ride it. And sadly, I remember really enjoying Viper when I first rode it in 1997. So needless to say, I was pretty bummed about how rough it has gotten over the years. Maybe Six Flags can install the new Vacoma trains for Viper, like they did when they converted Ninja into Blue Hawk at Six Flags Over Georgia. Because in my opinion, that's the only thing that will make Viper a better coaster at this point, and for me to give this Aero coaster another chance. Or will Magic Mountain just remove their Classic 7 inversion coaster? Whatever they decide to do, I hope the decision will be made to create a coaster with an enjoyable and smooth riding experience. Wildcat Lake Compounds. Disclaimer, I have yet to ride this classic PTC wooden coaster with the new trains, so I could knock Wildcat off this list when I ride it again next month. But from the rides that I've gotten on this coaster that opened in 1927, they haven't been on the smoother side. Talk about a back-breaking wooden coaster. I have never enjoyed this coaster due to how rough it is, and I've always spent my time riding Boulder Dash instead. I just hope the new GCI trains have made Wildcat a much better coaster to thrill riders for years to come. Now believe it or not, but I have yet to ride a Volair flying coaster. Shocking, I know, but I guess I've been trying to avoid them at all costs. But if I ever stumble to a park that offers one, then I'll be happy to take a spin on it and put it at the #1 spot on this list. Ninja, Six Flags St. Louis. Forget this ride, never again. This is one of the worst roller coasters in the entire world. And I want to know, could Ninja become the first steel coaster to get RMC'd? Anaconda King's Dominion. In my opinion, the first half of Anaconda is actually tolerable. Then, after the mid-course, I often wonder what the hell was Ron Toomer and his team at Aero thinking. I mean, the second half of Anaconda is boring, but it's also extremely rough. The awkward figure 8 element looks interesting, but this is really where Anaconda wraps around you and wants to physically hurt you. Then once you think the coaster's over, you're greeted with back-to-back corkscrews. Hey King's Dominion, this location would be perfect for a water park expansion and a smooth Vacoma Bermuda Blitz coaster. Just saying, moving on. Now before I get to the last coaster on this list, I want to know, are there any coasters out there that you'll never ride again? If so, which ones? Let me know in the comments. This next coaster might come as a shock to most of you, but Tatsu at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Now before you flip out, let me explain. Tatsu isn't rough or anything. In fact, it's really smooth. I just personally don't really care for flying coasters. And while I do enjoy the first half of Tatsu, it's the giant pretzel loop that is just too intense in my opinion for me to enjoy it. And thinking about it, I actually really enjoy everything about Tatsu other than the pretzel loop. Does it make me nauseous? No, not at all. But I would rather just spend my time riding Twisted Colossus instead. Now what's kind of bizarre is that I do really enjoy Manta at SeaWorld Orlando, and I will continue to ride this B&M Flyer for years to come. Call me whatever name you want, I'm cool with that, but remember, these are my opinions. And I am curious, does anyone else feel this way about Tatsu? If you enjoy this video, the best thing you can do to help support my channel is giving this video a like. Also, don't forget to become the newest Theme Park Prediction subscriber. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay positive, be happy, and keep riding coasters.